this is Don.
It's John.
All Things Paranormal.
Oh, we've got Bud. He's on.
Yeah, forgot Charles. He's on the phone. Hey, so we're going to Denton, Texas. We're going to do talking about our night hunt tonight. It's the Goatman Bridge. If y'all seen on the Facebook, we posted a couple of videos, links from where BuzzFeed and I think Ghost Adventures, Zach Bagans or whatever, went out there for that. So we're going to go out there and give the All Things Paranormal view of it now. But we got 2 hunts going on, and John's going to talk about that other one.
All right. So anyway, we're going to the place that's called the Roswell of Texas. Before there was ever even any Roswell, New Mexico crash of an alien, they had one crash over here in Aurora, Texas. And it was back in 1897. Now, everybody over here, whenever it crashed, they said, "What's that?" You know, because they just didn't have anything just flying around up in the air back then. You know, they had some balloons and stuff like that. But they said this wasn't a balloon. People were seeing it floating around there all day long, you know, at different places flying around. And they said it was moving fast.
So that's going to be what the alien crash is what we're going to check out?
We're going to check out an alien crash. Now, what happens? When it crashed, they're like, hey, look, there is something, you know, there's somebody in it. So they pulled them out. It was the body was damaged, and then they noticed, hey, look, this is not an actual human being. It's a humanoid type thing. It looks like a little mini person, but it's not an actual person per se. It looks like an alien.
So hey, Charles, what's your expectations for the night?
You know, from some of the stuff that we've looked at in the past for other months where they've gone out to that same location, they've had voices on the bridge, they've seen shadows on the bridge, they've had, there's supposed to be some woods right behind you where there's been a lot of satanic worship. And so that's going to be an interesting look as well, to see if we can go out there and find any evidence of prior events or if there's anything new that's occurring. So we've actually got 2 good locations side by side, both the bridge and the woods, which will be an interesting look at for us.
Cool. So we'll keep y'all posted on what's going on, and we're going to let you see what goes on for the rest of the video. So, but this is Don.
This is John.
Yeah, this is Charles.
All Things Paranormal.
Then we're going to switch over, let you grab the camera or the phone from Bud, and then Bud's going to do his scientific type, you know, shit that's like way the hell out up there. Okay. And then, all right, let's go.
Okay, we don't have anything. Oh, I guess we're live.
Oh, we're live?
Are we live?
Live?
I guess so.
Let's look.
Hey, we're live.
Hey, we're live. Hey, this is John.
This is John.
This is Charles.
All Things Paranormal.
We apologize.
But we're sitting over here talking.
We were live.
Anyway, our long trek, we have come to an end on this particular section. There used to be a gravestone here, but somebody stole it, so now this right here is what they're using.
Yeah, if y'all remember a few years back, probably, huh?
Yeah, I think it's about a year or 2.
Yeah, we got up there and brought out the on one of our shows. We talked about somebody stole the gravestone.
Well, anyway, this right here is where old Ned is buried. Now, I'm gonna give you a story about old Ned. Back in, because you know I always have to give you stories. Back in April 1897, at 6 a.m., people were seeing this spaceship. That's the easiest way to say. They didn't know what spaceships were back then. Spaceship flying around this area. Well, lo and behold, it ended up crashing into Judge Proctor's windmill. Now, I mean, this whole thing just crashed right into it, burst into flames. They said the pieces of it were spread several acres around. So, you know, this wasn't let's just say back then they had balloons. Well, if you hit something fast and hard, it's not going to be a balloon. If it's going to spread the debris, acres.
So how far away from right here was the crash site?
Well, I don't know where Judge Proctor's windmill is. It's somewhere here in this town.
Oh, okay.
But anyway,
We're going to look for it, though.
we're gonna try to find it. So anyway, they described it as a small humanoid type of person. So what are they going to do back in? Well, it looks human. So naturally, what they do, they bury it. So they buried it here in the Aurora Cemetery in this spot. Looks like old Ned seems to have a little bit of a following because people's leaving all kinds of stuff. I see some coins, baseball,
Little possessed looking.
little voodoo-looking doll things.
Yeah, it's pretty weird stuff.
Looks like part of a blunt, maybe. But
And I guess he likes Whataburger, too.
and he likes Whataburger. Breakfast on the phone.
We could have got that.
So anyway, we need to switch camera people over here. Now we're going to go over some of the tests that we have done to try to determine, hey look, there is an alien down in this thing. So we're going to turn this part of the show over to Charles, which happens to be our local engineer.
So what we have here is a radiation detector. We've been looking around, we surveyed the area, trying to see if there's a spot. Maybe this is not the exact marker on the exact location. We have not found any differences in the ground radiation whatsoever. So if you look here, we're basically seeing about 1 micro R or micro Rinkin of radiation at this moment. So it's not very much, it's 1/1,000,000th of a Rinkin. Which is this is just the background radiation that we're seeing. So this is what
How much
happens
is the
to be in the
X-ray
soil.
on a Rinkin?
It would be probably 200 or 300 times what we're seeing right now in the background. So if you do a full chest X-ray, it's equivalent to like a couple of months worth of living and exposure to the sun, the solar radiation, things like that. So if you look, we have no deflection, we have no change in this rock, and we really don't have anything here in the ground or around it. So it's just showing that we have the normal radiation. Our world that we live in is radioactive. It has uranium in the soil. It has radon, it has radium, it has all these types of elements that are produced through the development of stars and the explosion of the stars and the assembly of the planet, things like that. So we ourselves, our bodies are radioactive to some degree because of the things we eat. The potassium that's in bananas, for example, or pistachios and things. Those things make our bodies radioactive, but we're used to that. So that's what we call standard background radiation, what we normally see all the time. Just to show that the instrument actually works, one of the things that we can do is we'll move over here to some granite. Granite, because it's an igneous rock, has a tendency to put that uranium that we see in the ground, and it kind of condenses it and makes it really, really dense. And we'll actually see the effect of that on our detector. So when we put it over here and give it just a second to start settling out, you'll see that there's a change where we start picking up higher amounts. So we'll get to 10 or 15 times the amount of radiation that we did over there by the marker that we were just looking at. But this is still what we call the norm, normally occurring radioactive material. So nothing special there. It just shows that the instrumentation is working and it is reflecting what we're expecting to see.
So, long story short, there's no radioactive anything wherever the little alien guy was buried.
Now, he might not even been radioactive.
He might not have been radioactive, but that was the only test we have because we don't have any way of going in there and digging him up and finding him.
Well, yeah, and we don't have any way of looking down in the grave and see what's going on. So it's pretty interesting. But there's several other places that we're going to go look around here and see. We're still going to go try to find
The windmill location.
windmill location. And what else is there? That was it.
Maybe we can interview somebody.
Maybe we'll find somebody that'll talk to us.
And here's looks like somebody that's maybe a fan themselves.
Anyway, this guy.
Our first stop's in Aurora, Texas, where they had an alien ship crash in April 17th, 1897. So they had a movie that was created in 1986 called Aurora Encounters. Man, y'all go check that out. It's pretty cool. This is actually the grave site of where he was buried. They wanted to dig him up in '72, and they kind of put the halts on that. They said, no, we're not going to get up there and start desiccating graves. So, man, if you ever get a chance to go check this place out, go check it out. It's pretty cool. The cemetery is really cool. You can see all kinds of stuff around there. But that was it. Aurora kind of just brings all of it together. So if you get a chance to stop by, go to Aurora and check out the alien burial ground.
Hey, this is John, All Things Paranormal. Hey, let's talk about about old Ned here. This is over at the crash at Aurora. There's certain things that people say that, hey, look, did this event really happen? Well, let's go over some facts here. One, people seen it crash. Now, I know everybody says that humans are the worst eyewitnesses, but there is a lot of people seen it crash. Number two, that there is a site where it did hit. It took out the windmill, the judge's windmill. And this ain't no ordinary person. This is a judge. It took out his windmill, and debris was scattered for acres. It wasn't just a little thing. It was a big impact, and it shattered everywhere. And three, there's a body. They actually had a body that they buried. Now, how do you know that they buried the body? Because the town showed up for the funeral. Everybody just, say, hey, somebody dies, let's go out and just bury some, that's what they do, is they bury people. And they buried him. And the news actually reported it. So, that right there is enough evidence of saying, hey, look, there is something that happened at that time with the crash. This is John.
It's the Goatman Bridge in Aurora. Right outside of Denton, Texas. Used to be formerly called Alton, Texas. So, in 1938, they had Oscar Washburn was a goat farmer, and supposedly they had gotten up there and hung him off the bridge. And when they went to go check, he wasn't there anymore. So they, nicknamed it the Goatman Bridge because he was a goat farmer. The woods are supposedly haunted. There have been several times that people came up missing, and they just hadn't been able to find them. This is us setting up for the night. So for the hunt, so it is a pretty interesting hunt. If you ever get a chance to go there to Denton, check out the Goatman Bridge. There's several shows about it.
All right.
Hey, this is John, All Things Paranormal. Man, you can tell we got everything set up. We got two on the bridge, one on each side. We got a couple of them in the woods, in the haunted woods. So we're gonna see what happens from there. We've had several people come by. One person come by. They've also talked about that they was grabbed on the leg and took off running and fell, and he kind of got injured a little bit. He got a little scrape on his elbow and his I think his shin. So it's pretty good of a hot spot for people. So we're going to be asking people as they come by if they get any personal reports. So the history of this place is that they talk about back in the day, the goat man had a herd of goats, and he was a black man, and the Klan didn't like that at that time. This is back in like the 1900s, and so they hung him from the bridge. Well, they never did get up there, or when they went to go check to see that he was hanging off the bridge, he wasn't there. So they had people started seeing with a goat man type figure running around, so that's where they got that. That's unsubstantiated. They don't see anything in the history books of that. That could be just like a tall tale. So
They have multiple also sayings about a bunch of animal sacrifices and types of witchcraft and devil worship and stuff like that just went on. And satanic worshiping, and so now that's where all of a sudden the demon element comes into effect, where everybody says that there's a demon running around and doing all types of stuff. Now, in this particular area, we got cameras on the bridge from the Goat Man, because supposedly, you know, you knock on the bridge. We're going to do that later. And then also, if you go out into the woods, there's supposed to have people come up and listen.
So you want to explain your equipment real quick?
So what we got several cameras. We got a DVR system set up. Hey, how y'all doing? Good. So we got
Here's some potential victims.
Yeah. So we got cameras set up in the woods. We got DVR. We got 4 DVRs. We couldn't really put out much more. They're getting they're kind of getting a little carried away. Huh? And then we got 2 on the bridge actually. And then we're going to be walking around with some EVPs, doing some EVPs, EMFs. And
this might not be so good because this is a hot spot for people. We also have things like thermal. We're going to be setting up thermal here in a little while, and infrared cameras we're going to be carrying around. And later on tonight, we're going to be doing a walk around through these haunted woods.
Yeah, to see if we see anything in the woods, which might be pretty cool too.
Would one of y'all want to do a walk across the bridge real quick, just so we can one watch cameras and one?
Yeah, go ahead.
And hey, Don, while we're doing this, do you want to do an audio just to listen in on Facebook? Make sure we've got.
Well, I can't. I'm on your phone. I got my phone hooked up for the internet.
Oh, just so we can double check that we have good audio.
Oh, we're not on. I don't think we're broadcasting. Oh, yeah, no.
And this is a live broadcast for everybody, so there's always little technical checks. We just want to make sure everything's working right. We got audio. Okay. All right. So, John, I'm following you.
Now, if you come up on this bridge is actually turned into a, I guess you could call it an ancient or artifact or protective bridge of some sort. But they've said that, hey, look, you know, this thing is so old, we're going to declare it like a national thing. And I don't remember the exact date it was built, but this was the passageway between Alton and Denton. Alton no longer is a big city. It's it's not really nothing but just outskirts. But this right here was the I-10 of this area.
One of our cameras set up.
So we have one camera here coming in facing this way to the bridge. We have one down in the gorge down there facing up to where the man was supposed to have been hanging, but they come across the hill.
Let me lead.
You can see we got a sliver of a moon that's shining. So lighting is kind of challenging. People probably over there fishing. Now, according to the tale, right about up in here in this area, about midway, this is where they're supposed to have hung the man. Dropped him down, and then after they hung him, they looked down there, like this, looked down, and lo and behold, he ain't there. It's just an open thing. You know, they couldn't find it. He wasn't in the water. He wasn't in nothing like that. So it's a lot of bad things happened at that time. It was around 1930, I believe it was. So at the other end, how y'all doing? Y'all ever been out here before?
Yeah, we came here in the daytime though.
Oh, really? First time night?
Yeah.
Y'all ever had any experience?
No. Yeah, last time we came in daytime, we heard some over there.
Hey, can we film y'all?
Sure.
This is a live broadcast that we're doing right now.
All Things Paranormal. We're out here doing stuff like that. So what happened here today?
Well, basically, we went there's like some,
There's two trucks.
Yeah. Well, basically, we just heard some like either
Like, it was like
you know.
really?
Yeah. We just got scared.
And that was out in the woods?
Yeah, it was like the like.
You know that there was satanic rituals and stuff performed out there, right?
Yeah. People cutting head cats and stuff like that.
Yeah, we heard of it, but.
So if you see a headless cat, holler at us and we'll run out there and try to film it, okay?
All right,
Have you ever tried to call the goat man to the bridge?
yeah, I talked to that nigga before. I mean, I talked to him before.
Yeah, we be like, this is my bridge now.
Hey, chill. This is my bitch now.
Yeah, you say it because there's a bunch of guys around right now, so do that by yourself. That's not our folks. Yeah, that's I guess some fishermen down there.
So anyway, all the way down to this other end of the bridge, this road kind of comes down. So we're right by the main road itself now. But this right here, it used to be, like I said, the I-10 in this area between Alton and Denton. So you can imagine how much stuff went across this bridge. Cattle, wagons, old Model Ts, you know.
Another one of our cameras.
Another camera, it's shining back across this whole line of that bridge. You know, when you look at it, you think, man, this bridge is long. But really, actually, it's not that long. It's probably around 90 to 100 feet long.
Well, back in the 1900s.
That was like the Golden Gate Bridge. If you take a look here, you can actually kind of see how small these roads really were for people that have to travel through. This has been built back up, more than likely, for this main road. Now they've had several different groups out here. Everybody always seems to talk about some type of demonic thing, or something reaches up there and grabs them. And it's been three tone scratches, or they call it burn marks or something like that, where it's actually grabbed them. And then you know, a lot of them immediately when they get here, they say, "Oh man, I feel something. I feel something." So far, I haven't really felt anything yet. You know, of course, I'm not really a feeling type of person on stuff like that, but because I like to do a lot of evidence. But really and truly, the sun or the moon is not real bright, and hopefully after everybody leaves, things going to quiet down really, and we can have a real nice hunt. But you know what? Ghosts happen, or spirits happen, whatever happens. Just like the young men were saying earlier, during the day and at night. So there's no specific time when anything could actually just pop off and go. And that's why we set up cameras, multiple cameras everywhere. It's all different parts of this thing. This road has little branches that runs down to the people out fishing and stuff like that. For the trail. There's a number of trails around. I haven't actually sat down and done the research as to actually how many acres that this is with the trees and stuff like that. And but they've had people come up missing. Whenever we were setting up, trying to set up this hunt, so hey, look, we want to film out here, and the city give us the thing to say, okay, yeah, you can. And they was talking about the woods. They said, man, people has come up missing here. You know, it's kind of hard to believe somebody would come up missing. Because you got waterway here. Everybody knows you follow a waterway and you're going to come up to a town, and then you can hear the road driving by back and forth. So it's hard. And then you got like a big pump thing that does the sewer and stuff way on the other side that you can hear that during the day, just carrying for miles. So you know, it's hard to believe somebody can just come up missing.
John, what about these markings on the trees and stuff? Any idea what some of this stuff means?
You got several different markings. One time we run across one that was an arrow. Here's some that is, they all seem to be some sort of a fluorescent color. Fluorescent orange and stuff like that. But me and Charles was talking, you know, some people may have put stuff up just for like a little Halloween trick or something. But then again, you come up to other things that looks like a big satanic type thing, like like right up here. This looks like a little devil thing, you know, devil face that people spray painted up there. We'll go to a different spot later on tonight where it looks like somebody had actually built an altar. For what, I have no idea, but there's been tales of people sacrificing animals. In fact, they don't sell cats and stuff like that no more around here because people are taking them and, you know, the satanic worship people is theoretically is taking them and killing them, sacrificing them out here. So right now, you know, we have to say this is a pretty hot spot. So let me throw this out here too. Everybody's out here. Everybody's coming. So why does everybody come out here and try to experience something? Because people have had experiences. So, you know, if you want to know if something's going on, you know, you just follow the people. You know, somebody's had an experience or experiences, and these people are coming out here trying to find it too. And a lot of them seem to have some sort of a little tale.
Just to mention also, while we're out on this walkabout, our DVR is still recording everything that's occurring on the bridge. So all that tape will be reviewed, is that correct?
That's right. Whenever we do our hunt, we always recording everything so that you will, so we don't lose anything. Now, you know, that's the reason why you don't have evidence the next day. Because if you record, say, 4 hours on the DVR, in this particular situation, that's we have 4 cameras going, that is 16 hours of viewing time. Because you just can't watch all 4 at one time and say, okay, there's nothing there. You might miss something on one camera. So you have to watch it 4 times. And not to mention we have thermal, we have 2 different infrared cameras we're looking, a full spectrum camera, we got voice recorders set up. So if you got full voice recorders and you record for 4 hours, that is 16 hours of listening. So whenever we turn, we can't have a chance of something going dead right in the middle of something happening. We have to use new batteries every time. We thought about using rechargeable batteries, but the cost of that, and they don't last long. They don't last near as long.
So we hadn't even talked about this. It's just kind of a spur of the moment. But, you know, next week is Thanksgiving, and they do have Black Friday specials. Do you think we could come up with something? Somebody buys like a shirt and a cup, maybe we throw in a hat or something like that?
That sounds like an excellent idea. You know, always to save your money on stuff, get with us personally. That way we're not having to cover for shipping. Or if you buy multiple items, there's only one shipping charge. We will adjust that rate. Be sure to contact us too if you happen to get on something, get beside the website. So that's all of our, you know, begging for money. We're not going to do that anymore. But anyway, we just wanted to throw that out there while it's still early. So when you come down through these trails, they have, and a lot of different things go on down here. People use this a lot. Today, when we was out here just looking, see what kind of cell signal we have and everything, they had horses. People on horses were riding around. So this is this is a large area. I think the trail itself is on the other side. The trail itself is what, 2.4 miles or something like that. So you know it's at least 2 miles worth of.
Oh, speaking of horses.
Speaking of horses, one of them had a little. Going to get upset from stepping that. Here's some more of your markings. It's also kind of a shame that people would just desecrate something too, you know, especially whenever it's a historical area, and this is a little historical area. When we was out there earlier today at Aurora visiting the cemetery plot of Ned, somebody had actually stolen a tombstone. Now, you know, that tombstone was put out there back in 1897 or so. That's a daggum shame, you know, marking the spot of Ned. So then they come take this big thing that looks like a UFO and they set it right on top of that very site. Supposedly, we can't prove that because that's you know, the stone is gone. But anyway, if y'all have a chance, re-look at that too. Also, view all of our other stuff too. If you like us on YouTube, subscribe to us. That way, everything we do can come back up.
And isn't there something like a little speaker button or a bell that every time you broadcast, it'll alert you as well?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm not a real big YouTube style person on that. You know, I watch certain things like the Crazy Wrestling Hacker and stuff like that. You know, but
Only for Christmas ideas, and right?
yeah, Christmas ideas. That's right. Anyway, let's go down and look on this side. So right now we have Don sitting over there watching the cameras for our quad cam at the Alton Bridge. We're on the old road leading to Alton from Denton. Here's some other markings people mark out.
I would say if it wasn't next to a road, some of these markings would definitely be very suspicious and scary.
Yes, especially if it's like a big fluorescent. Now we have a lot of light going on right now because you got a camera there ain't a camera around that can see as good as a naked eye. So we have to have a lot of light for it. See, once again they have an arrow pointing. Okay, y'all head this way.
Oh, here's that something.
Somebody come out here and built this. You can see trees been cut. See how the cuttings are? And then they just piled grass right on top of it, of some type. They was building either some type of maybe it's too small to even be like a campsite, so it kind of looks more like an altar that they was building. Maybe they was getting ready to do a chicken or something right here. But
could it have been like a trap or a holding location maybe for the sacrifice?
It could have, but it's laid out like a. It's laid out pretty good long ways, and it's just piled on. Somebody did that. Now we are on the. Let's see if I can get my brushes right. That's west, or that's east, right? Yeah, east, west. We are heading to the south side of it. More of a southeastern style on this side of the water.
After we do more footage on the bridge, we'll go to the other side, which is where the altar was seen.
It's interesting, where I come from, there's pine trees everywhere. There's no pine trees out here. It's all oak. People come out here and shoot, and you have these things that go into the water. My battery gone dead. Should charge it before I left. So in this area, to this particular area right in here, around where this bridge was, this guy was a goat herder, and he was herding his goats. So in this particular spot, that man's goats ate some food, you know, ate some grass and whatever, you know. So it's kind of, you're sitting in a spot back in the 1930s, you know, where some goat was sitting over there eating the grass. Of course, that's crap right there.
Yeah. There's all kinds of little gotchas to trip on. Stakes kind of pointing up from the ground.
Must have been a fan of All Things Paranormal. We'll probably watch it here later.
Is that concrete? Maybe from the road?
Yeah, it kind of looks like leftover concrete in the building. Just step on this way. Over in Denton. In fact, it was the Denton paper that published the crash of the UFO over from Alton. I mean, not Alton, from Aurora. And that's if you go on looking online and looking for Aurora UFO crash, it's going to be from the Denton paper. Now this waterway, I don't know anything about the waterway, but I'm going to have to tell you right now, it is deep. Fall in and lose the camera, then we kind of stuck today.
We'll have to go back to the live cams on the bridge. You know, for people who grew up in East Texas, this is also water moccasin territory.
That's right. In fact, that's one of the things they said was, hey, you know, you might want to watch out for the snakes. And I don't mind snakes as long as they're not around me.
As long as you see them. So ones you don't see is the scary ones.
It's a little fake, probably. Somebody's out here seeing something.
Starting to quiet down.
See the road, I'll take it is.
Any fans out there, 2 honks as you go by.
Yeah. So you just hear the business part. Now, if Don was here, Don's a little, I guess you could say, liberal on his ghost hunting. He likes to think everything's there right then. He would say these horse tracks are part of the goat man running around. But when you get right down to it and ask him, he'll say, no, it's just horses. Later on tonight, when we go on the other side of the large amount of woods, and we get out there, we're going to be getting in there, and we're going to be down. Hopefully it's going to be a lot quieter. And we're going to kind of go into a little dark out mode, you know, kind of see if we can't hear anything, and get some stuff pulled up to us.
No, I darkened it up just a little bit so we can make sure we got batteries to get out of here. I don't know if you can see it. There's the moon. About a third of the moon. Just in case, oops, Don's saying that he lost us. Just in case we are, we're trying to check and make sure that we still have live streaming. But anybody have any idea what those things are? If so, send us a message, and we'll see how well you know East Texas.
I think we're still live.
Send Don a message real quick and just ask him, did it reconnect? And again, one of the things that sets ATP apart from many of the other paranormal investigative crews is everything that we do is live, which means we also have to suffer through technical difficulties, which everybody else simply edits out, makes it look like a nice, smooth process for them. But out in the woods, out in some remote locations, data signals, all of those things are always kind of glitchy for us.
But we record everything, so it's recorded. What we do, it just, you might catch the glitch. I texted you when you didn't answer the phone.
We can always stop the transmission and restart, see if we can reconnect.
But we should be.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and disconnect. We're trying to check to make sure that we still have live streaming. Oh no, we're okay. So we've reconnected. Good.
Okay.
Have any idea what those things are? Yes. Either we're too far away from the bridge or the locals have gone back to other locations, because I don't hear them anymore. You want to talk to them?
Y'all see anything?
Not yet, not yet.
Have y'all seen anything?
Not yet.
So, did you see the other part of our crew over there?
I think so.
Yeah. Did he explain what was going on?
We don't know. We're trying to catch the goat man or the demon or whatever it is that's out here. We're a paranormal group.
Right.
And we're doing a live web show. Y'all want to be filmed?
I mean, sure, I don't care.
Ah,
Do y'all have any paranormal experiences?
Yeah.
What you got?
Well, I get sleep paralysis.
Really?
Yeah, it's like really bad.
Feel like something's hanging on top of you?
Sometimes I got attacked actually at that one house. I got attacked and like I couldn't breathe. And like I knew I wasn't having a panic attack because it was like someone was pressing me.
Oh.
did you see anything or just feel the presence?
Feel the presence. I don't ever see anything. I just feel it. I guess I've seen one ghost before, but that was not.
Have y'all go on All Things Paranormal? TX? Well, go look on it.
Do you have a card?
I don't think I got a card.
On your way back out, stop at the table. We'll get you a
We'll
card.
get you a card. Anyway, it's All Things Paranormal TX. Probably our best thing that we had here lately. We was over in, that was Marfa, wasn't it?
Martha.
Yeah, Marfa, Texas. It's like way out by Big Bend. Right. At this motel called El Pisano. And we had a table. We were sitting over there doing like an EVP session. You know, like when you talk to ghosts. Right. And this table shoots over about that far, all on its own. It just goes whoop. And the guy that was sitting there had nerves of steel. He's like, you know, I don't think he's going to see that table. Hey, y'all see that table move? I'm like, yeah, we see that table move. Yeah. It just moved all the time.
And not only that, but I mean, we tried to recreate it. We tried to do everything we could to get it to do it naturally. And there was nothing, absolutely nothing that could be done to.
It wasn't moving a little bit. It was that far. Right. It slid over. It just, didn't see anything on the cameras, really. So, I mean, but it just the table moved itself. So then we had a cell phone come flying. It was sitting over there. Also, the cell phone goes poof. And but it was whatever it was kind of mad because it was giving it some attention to start with. Right. And then all of a sudden you say, hey, look, you know, we're gonna do something else. And we didn't like that. And we got mad.
Well, not only that, with Charlie, you could hear a slap. Yeah. And at the same time, you see him jumping, but you couldn't see anything other than his reaction. But the microphones picked it all up.
Really? Wow. Huh. I mean, my brother does exorcisms, so I guess I've seen the surveillance cameras.
Where's he doing exorcisms at?
He lives in Oklahoma. He actually has a class.
Really? Stop by, get us some stuff. We like to have information. You know, if you don't mind talking to us and everything, we like to know all that stuff. You know, we're very open.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Yeah, have a good day.
Good night.
Have a good night.
you know, once again, when you come out here, you never know who you're gonna meet. And you know what? I have never really run across anybody on a ghost hunt that was an ass. Everybody's always been real nice. People's always been real receptive. They kind of, you know, everybody wants to open up. It's amazing this field is not bigger than what it is because everybody has something that's happened.
Well, in Falk, we did have one lady that would interview with us, but she didn't want to be on camera. And that's just because, you know, it's a small town and she didn't want everybody to...
People fear being ostracized. Well, if everybody comes out and just says, hey, look, this is what's going on, you know, then it's not going to be, you know, nobody's going to be ostracized anymore.
Watch the horse. The trail markings. All right, we're gonna kill the light.
So anyway, the reason why I think some of this paint's out here is for when they did a ghost walk and or something to do maybe with Halloween or something like that. They park these things up there. You see that? This is a black light. So if you're walking down and all of a sudden you start seeing stuff glowing, popping up like that, kind of gives a little more spooky event on it. Somebody had to jump up there on that one. Now you ask why. Okay, John, why you have a black light? You know, well. When you film, you have different spectrums. This is actually an ultraviolet light, black light. So you have on one end of the spectrum of light, you have infrared. On the other end, you have ultraviolet. And so whenever we do a
Watch that stump.
Whenever we do a full spectrum filming, we're filming on both sides, the infrared and the ultraviolet. Past a big pile of horse?
I haven't seen it. Oh, there it is. Shine your light over here again. It didn't show up on the camera at all. There it is. Oop, do you see that? Something just flew through. Maybe it was a hawk or something.
Y'all see that? It just flew right by your head as a hawk or something. A hawk or something like that. Yeah, it went flying just right this way. Nothing. That's crazy. Probably not.
What's that? I don't know. I think the lights were too low to see. We'll have to do a replay on it. I was looking up. I wasn't watching the screen. How about y'all?
No, just some lights.
Lights?
Do y'all come out here often?
Yeah. A little bit, yeah.
Have you had some experiences out here?
We've taken some pictures and we found like some lights behind us, but not like red lights, but nothing too bad. Yeah, sadly.
The only thing I've seen is like a glowing kind of thing that it was like shaped like that. I saw it like at the end of the bridge one year or one day, but that's it. Nothing else. Unfortunately.
Did y'all come up there to the booth and talk to Don?
No, we were wondering about that.
No,
This-
we're filming. We do a paranormal show, so we're filming out here.
Oh, really? What's the show?
All Things Paranormal. You can go on YouTube, All Things Paranormal TX,
Right.
or Facebook, All Things Paranormal. You'll see like our shirt. Anyway, we're out here. We visited, O'Neill, the buried alien. And then we come out here today because we're all kinds of stuff about the out in the bridge.
Oh, yeah.
But we've been everywhere. We do everything. Anything paranormal, Bigfoot, aliens, ghosts.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
So y'all check us out. Get the cards on your way out, okay?
Okay.
All right,
Thank
will
you.
do. Thank you.
Y'all have a good night.
Good luck.
You too.
Hey. Oh, that's one of our cards. Somebody dropped it. It was dark. All right, so we're heading back to the temporary headquarters. So, anything on the cameras? So, are you ready to switch over to live broadcast to the...
Yeah.
All right.
We're ready.
All right, so in just a few seconds, we're going to be switching over from the remote cam. So the transmission will stop and then it will pick up again and we'll be back onto our live cameras over the bridge and in the wooded areas. So this is All Things Paranormal disconnecting.
So what you see, this is the haunted woods that me and John's walking through. What's coming up next is going to be a video clip of a person walking through the woods, and they were shining their light, and you could see how the light just disappears into the blackness. And he thought that was pretty strange, and so we decided to put that on. So here's the next one. You had another fan walking by, and they had something scared them, and as you can see, there's two red eyes in the background. So they got kind of freaked out about that. So this next clip right here is uh, they was taking and throwing quarters over the edge, trying to get up there and to see if maybe they'll throw them back. Something will throw them back. That's one of the myths that's there. There's also another one that something about when we walked by, there was a ton of locks on all the little holes throughout this bridge. People were putting padlocks all over the place, and they was saying that that was like to secure a love or a friendship or something like that. I have yet to see any of that in the history of it, but we just thought that was pretty strange too. And so, as you can tell, man, we had a lot of fans and a lot of people coming around, walking around through this bridge. That was very interesting for a hunt. We didn't really see a whole bunch of evidence except for what people had brought us. But what we did get up there and see was the amount of people that was there and that was believing in the goat man prophecy. So it was just crazy. It was just a great hunt. Man, it was nobody went without having a story, and even us, man, we got to meet tons and tons and tons of people. It was just a great place to be. If you ever get a chance to go to the old Goatman Bridge in Alton, right outside of the Alton Goatman Bridge. It's right outside of Denton. Stay there. It's uh, man, you'll meet a lot of good people. That was a very interesting place to see. Um, we also had the alien hunt. We had the goat hunt. I mean, where else can you take it and have a 2 for 1? You know, in one day. It was just an awesome place. If you ever get a chance, stop by. Man, I sure appreciate y'all watching. This is Don with All Things Paranormal.